Hey everyone, Richard Metal Fan here, bringing you guys a brand new 2019 album review. And today we're going to be looking into the new album from the band Children of Bodom entitled Hexed, which came out today through Nuclear Blast Records. Now, for those of you who don't know who Children of Bodom are, get out. Basically a melodic death metal band hailing all the way from Espoo, Finland. These guys have been around since 1993, and Children of Bodom, in my opinion, are basically been one of my all-time favorite bands ever since I first heard them back in high school. I remember first seeing the music video for Trash Tongue Lost and Strung Out. I believe that's this song title. I can never remember it. But seeing the video for it on Headbangers Ball on MTV back when they actually played music. And I was like, wow, I was instantly hooked on it. And then I discovered all their other stuff, and they've been putting out albums since their debut album, Something Wild, which came out in 1997. And I've pretty much, like, it's mostly like the first few albums I really love from Children of Bodom. But in my opinion, I think is their best album is, of course, 2003's Hate Crew Death Roll, which is, in my opinion, their best album. Nothing has ever topped that. And then like of course I like some of their other more recent stuff like Are You Dead Yet and Blood Drunk, which are pretty good. And then 2011's Relentless Reckless Forever, which I didn't think I wasn't really that good. But then they picked it back up with 2013's Hello Blood, which is still, probably much I thought was their best album they've done since Hate Crew Death Roll, and it was pretty much one of my favorite albums of 2013. And then their previous album is which came out in 2015 called I Worship Chaos, which was but I preferred Halo of Blood more. But in my honest opinion, does this new album, Hexed, the band's, I believe, overall 10th album, live up or succeed I Worship Chaos? In my honest opinion, I feel like it definitely has. I feel like it just kind of has like almost kind of like the old school Bodom that everybody knows of. Production wise, just really great. Just the vocal work from Alexei Lehio, like his vocals are just the same as always. He pretty much has the same voice still since the band started, and his shredding on this album is just spot on as always. And same thing with the riffs from their new guitar player Daniel Freiberg. He's actually from Sweden, from what I heard, and he replaced their former guitar player Rup Lavata, if I pronounce saying his name right. Yeah, the bass playing is, you could definitely hear it's a bit audible from Henka Sapala. You could definitely hear it. The keys are, of course, Janne Warman's keys are just really just always in there. Like his soloing with the keys along with like Alexei's guitar solos is just really spot on. And the drumming from Jaska Geretiken, probably fucked his name up. His drumming is just superb as always. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive into this album track by track. Now the album opens up with This Road, which introduces the record with an inherent and powerful double bass just streaming beneath like a textbook like Children of Bodom riff. From there, melodically guided guitar nuances blaze the trail for the swingy, earworm chorus that wraps you up in a hate crude chokehold. I made a reference to one of their songs on there. Yeah, it's a great way to start off this album. Next up is Under the Grass and Clover, which creates a more upbeat atmosphere for this record. And it almost has like a bit of an 80s pop rock inspired synth to it. Pairs with like the Gothenburg Sweden style riff to open up the track. And aside from like the synth riff relationship that creates the body of this track, there is a lot of elements that the song is rooted in classic heavy metal, and most notably like the presence of traditional like the dueling guitar assault, and the marrying of guitar and synthesizer just between Alexei, Yanni, and Daniel is what gives Children of Bodom not only an identifiable characteristic, but their most powerful attributes as well. Next on the album is called Glass Houses, which takes the intensity right to 11 and finds yourself in wanting to headbang along to what you are listening to. The track is lifted even further by Lehio's vocals, and once again he shows why he's one of the most gifted vocalists going around. Next on here is Hecate's, I can't say his name, Hecate's Nightmare, which is which I feel like it's about sort of like the famed mythological witch goddess This which drops sort of like wicked keyboard influence, which kind of like sounds like something from like mid '80s Rush to like Ultimate Sin era Ozzy Osbourne, respectively, while retaining sort of like its core outrageous in your face Bodom identity. Kick in the Spleen, which capitalizes on the aforementioned ass-kicking speed metal tendencies of the band. It also captures the impressive qualities of one of the most ripping guitar and keyboard solos on the album. Uh, Platitudes and Barren Words, notable for Alexi attempting to introduce many of his musical influence into the framework of the song as possible. It's easily the most melodic sounding track on the album without with even with like a Lehio belting like his way throughout most of it, but yet the song showcases more of a melodic type of screaming style, which nevertheless kind of works, which is kind of like new for Bodom. And I heard him even described it as like Alice Cooper meets death metal after a few, after a few more listens, the description is. And then we go into the title track of the album, Hexed, which presents some of the most classical traits of Children of Bodom heard on the album. This song is a repetition of like veteran status that these guys have worked so hard to achieve. This is like a proggier use of the piano clashes with like an arena of dexterous riffing, injecting a strenuous amount of agility into the song. And what is a classic Children of Bodom song without shouted gang vocals for the chorus? This track has a blistering brash appeal to it and utilizes a dynamic range of melodies, continued with a fuzzy, almost fretless bass sounding riff on there. Relapse, The Nature of My Crime. This track reminisces of like the haunting sound that is like developed on the album Fall the Reaper, giving off a great feeling of nostalgia and sure to be like an old school fan favorite. And Say Never Look Back. I feel like epic heights are again reached on here. A very epic sounding song. Soon Departed, which sounds like a wall of sound coming straight through your speaker and hits you directly right in the face. And then the album closes with an very interesting, which is a song called Knuckle Duster, which is a pure hate anthem, and it's actually was a reworking song or a redone version that originally appeared on their Trashed, Lost, and Strung Out EP, which came out in 2004. And the reworking is pure bliss and got instantly added to my personal playlist just after one listen. I think it's pretty much as better than the original. And overall, Hexed by Children of Bodom is a great album. I think it's a step up from I Worship Chaos. So if I had to give this album a score, I definitely would give this probably an 8 out of 10. It's a pretty good album. You should definitely check it out. So that's my review of the new Children of Bodom, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about it. See you all in the next video, and as always, keep it metal.